If you're new to IPv6, you might be feeling a bit overwhelmed. But think back to when you learned about IPv4. You started off just knowing it was 4 numbers separated by dots. You didn't need to immediately know about subnetting, classless addressing, or anything like that. Yet, you could still use an IP address. With IPv6, let's take the same simple approach. I'll show you how to configure IPv6 addresses on a couple of routers and test connectivity with a ping. Then, you'll get a chance to do it yourself, all in about 5 minutes. First, a bit about the structure of an IPv6 address. No dots. We separate chunks of hex numbers with colons. Not that kind of colon. Here's an example. Now if you count them up, you'll find 8 chunks separated by the colons. An IPv6 address is 128 bits long. If you split that down the middle, you've got 64 and 64. To simplify, look at the left 64 bits as the network portion and the right as the host portion. Typing out addresses like this will give you carpal tunnel, so we're allowed to abbreviate. Any field with all zeros can be entered as just 0. Just like the amount that you're being paid to watch this. I can write you a check for 0000 or a check for 0. Both cash for the same amount, 0. But that's still a lot to type. So, any place that you see a series of chunks that are all zeros, you can shorten them to just double colon.
Ooh.
But you're only allowed to use that shortcut once in an IP address. Okay, not done yet. Let's say that you want to pay me $100 to make an annoying sound. If you said you'd add a 0 to that check, that would make me very happy. But if the check is for 0100, you haven't changed the value at all. With IPv6, if you see a leading 0, you don't have to enter it. So now our address gets squeezed down to this. Now that we're done abbreviating, I'll draw my line immediately after the first 4 chunks. I see the network address on the left and the host on the right. Once you understand that, you can assimilate that in your brain with what you already know about IPv4 addressing. Let's say that you have 2 routers directly connected. They need to share the same network address. In IPv4, 2 routers on the 10.1.1 network get unique host portions, .1 and .2. With IPv6, once you know the network portion and the host portion, you do exactly the same thing. The first 4 chunks make up the shared network portion, the rest is the host portion, 1 and 2. That's it. Now watch me configure it. I first enter enable, config T to get into configuration mode. Looking at the diagram, we see this is for interface S1/0. After that, I enter R1's IPv6 address, and that's it. Next, I do exactly the same thing on router 2, with the only difference being that the address ends in 2. Now to ping R1's address. I type end to get out of interface configuration, and then ping the address shown in the diagram. And that's all there is to it. See? Easy.